going to tell you about how this Republican Christian astrologer had a hand, in planning the daily schedule of Ronald Reagan's entire presidency through his wife, Nancy, and how her astrological readings ended up influencing world politics, international relations, the war on drugs, and even, as Joan claims, the end of the Cold War.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Kaveh Taherian.
And I'm Hannah Hillam. Welcome back to the show. Kaveh, how are you?
Hannah, I am excited because the summer's almost over, which, of course, in Los Angeles means nothing because it's still going to be 10,000 degrees for the next 2 months. However, that means we got a couple shows coming up, and right. I'm sort of manically getting ready for it. Of course, we have Oklahoma Comic and Arts Festival first happening on September 12th.
Right.
You want to guess where?
Kansas City.
Yeah, no, it's in Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma City.
And then we have New York Comic Con a couple weeks after that. I believe it starts on October 8th.
8th, I think. 8th through the 12th?
Yeah, Thursday through Sunday.
So come see us there.
Come see us there. If you're in the Oklahoma area, come see us. This is the first time I've never been to Oklahoma. This is going to be my first time there. I'm very excited. Also, I have volunteered my services to do a workshop type panel, something or other, while we're in Oklahoma. I gave them a few titles of like ideas for titles for the workshop-y panel or whatever. And so the one that they liked the best was How the Funnies Taught Me Funny.
Oh, I like that one.
The paper.
That's a pretty good one. How the Funnies Taught Me Funny. I think it's natural.
It's funny. The title's funny. Yeah.
It's funny.
So,
dude,
I'm gonna do like a little thing about how I started my own comic strip, and so I'm gonna break down Calvin and Hobbes and Peanuts, of course, which is the ones I always talk about. So I'm gonna do a little lecture where I'll discuss like, here are the comics that I really liked growing up. Here's the things that I learned from them. Here's how I applied them to my comic, The Avocado Chronicles, and then I'm gonna do a little breakdown of how to tell a gag in 4 panels with
harder than you think.
I was like, hey, this is a great idea. I should do this. I think I can do it. And then I started to do it, and I'm like, oh, I would
not know how to explain it. Like,
it's not a hard and fast rule. I mean, you write 4 panels very differently than I do, though. Mine are very much like set up, punchline, set up. You know, it's like mine are much more like rigid and like.
Mine aren't. I'm
Which
not known to
becomes the
be
difference
rigid.
between you and I. Yeah, exactly.
In any way.
I think. Yeah, mine are structured, so I'm
going
to be doing that.
Comics. That's good.
Yes,
I'm excited. I hope I can come and just ditch our table, but I kind of don't want to do that.
I was going to say you're going to have to watch my table while I'm off doing that. I don't know what time it's going to be yet. They haven't told us, but I know, of course, that the festival's only one day, so it's going to be on that Saturday. It'll be on September 12th at some point. It is free.
I'm doing a panel. I got invited to be on a panel.
Oh, you did? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah,
in Oklahoma or New York?
Oh, Oklahoma.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be about writing a graphic novel, which is funny because I don't think I've done that. But I've done something close to it. I'm sitting
right here. I've also done that multiple times. I don't know why I'm not getting invited. Thanks a lot.
I think they were like, we got to give her something. She's got nothing to do here. Genuinely. I don't know.
That's exciting. Who are you going to be on the panel with? Do you know?
I don't know. I just found out like 2 days ago. / read the email from a week ago, 2 days ago. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hannah on it, Hillam. That's what they call me.
Hannah on it, Hillam. Yeah. But anyway, so of course New York's like the biggest. Now it's the biggest show of the year. I think we talked about this last year that I'm pretty sure San Diego is not as big as New York in terms of volume of people from last year, because I think that's what it was. Because last year I feel like they raised the cap, so there's more people that come to New York than they come to San Diego. So it's a huge show. It's fantastic. Now I'm just sort of like, it's game day. I got to make sure you were like ready for the Super Bowl, kind of thing.
Right. Well, like, and San Diego is just a whirlwind of consumerism and, people running into you. But New York has a very good feel to it. People don't come to be idiots. They come to be, some of them do.
Alienating all of our idiot listeners.
Oh, no. The fans are great. The people who run through the hall to get collectibles can all go collect. I don't know.
They can
collect
come
things in hell.
They can run to your table to buy things that are collectible.
Maybe I should make collectible things. Maybe I should be good at business.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No.
The biggest problem is that they're collecting the things that don't make us money, which is why we don't like them. Yeah. They need to collect our things so that then it's valid and justified.
I'm only thinking Funko Pops, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you call them? Landfill pops?
I call them landfill. There's going to be a
Yes.
Funko Pop layer in the future archaeologists like books and stuff. Once we hit the Funko layer, we can just throw it away again. And they'll just throw it away again.
Exactly. Anyway, that's basically what I'm up to. I'm excited to hear your tab, but before we start, I wanted to ask about the action figure behind you.
Of course.
We've never talked about this.
We've never talked about this.
Because I gave this.
So classic.
This is from years ago, and then
this is from 2 years ago. If you guys remember the Tanuki episode where he told me all about Tanukis, the little raccoon things from Japan, and their big old balls that like they use as parachutes and jump ropes, and how Mario dresses as a Tanuki. So here he made a Mario Tanuki, and he Kaveh formed the ball sack out of clay, like the air dry clay, and you can see it has hair on it, and that ball sack is around him like an umbrella. And when I was moving, I rediscovered it, and I was like, why have I never shown this to anybody? This is insane. He made one for me, he made one for Alyssa, and he made one for Joe. But who didn't he make one for? Himself.
Myself. That's how it goes always. I'm sitting here. My Tanuki Mario is still in its box.
Your Tanuki Mario is in your heart.
It's
the
true.
ball
It's
sack
in my
of
heart.
your heart.
Exactly.
Yeah. It has its own ball sack.
I was so excited when I saw that finally on the table behind you.
I know.
Like, great. 2 years later it shows up. But I'm happy it's there.
There was just never anywhere to put it in my old studio, because it was my bedroom and there was no tables.
Yes.
But
also, I'd like to point out you're also wearing a t-shirt I purchased too.
Just Kaveh gift hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the t-shirt of that was painted by John Hinckley Jr., the guy who almost killed Ronald Reagan.
So close.
On that note, I'm going to start my tab, okay?
Yes, let's do it.
Because there's a good reason I'm wearing this shirt.
Oh, there is.
And so today, I'm going to start, before I get into like exactly what this is about, I do want to give a little bit of background on court astrologers.
Astrologers, like people who see if you're like a Gemini, like before you like take the
basketball
witness.
Court? No. I was like, is it about basketball?
They're like, sorry, you're a Gemini. Your testimony has to get thrown out. You're too much of a Leo sun rising, Aquarius Capri sun.
Capri sun, yeah. No, court astrologers, meaning the court of a king or queen.
I see. Okay, okay. I got you.
So we're going back in time a little bit. They weren't like astrologers today. They were educated in math, astronomy, physics, and other sciences, and astrology just happened to be considered a sound science at the time, dating back thousands of years. And many civilizations would use astrologers to help predict patterns in weather, when it was best time to plant crops, such as the Mayans. Or you'd have someone like Nostradamus, the guy who like loved predicting the end of the world, and people still read his things today. He was chosen by the Queen of France to pick out suitable marriages, as his day job.
He's the what's the term? I totally forget.
Matchmaker.
Hello, Dolly. Is it just matchmaker? Isn't there a term? It's like a Jewish thing, right? Is there like the Jewish person that like pairs people? I'm drawing a blank. That's what Barbra Streisand's character is.
That's right. Well, there's so many cultures all over the world that
everyone's screaming at the podcast. They're like, "This is the word. Why can't you hear us right now?"
And I don't care. So
here's what we're gonna do. The thing where I pretend like I'm gonna say the word, and then Alyssa inserts her voice,
and
on
she's
top
got to
of it.
say it like,
"Oh right, I remember. It's
Yenta."
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you knew that. Thank goodness. It's exactly what I was about to say. It was on the tip of my tongue. So some astrologers would use their talents to push rulers towards investing in different things, such as the sciences or the arts. A great example of what? Or Bitcoin, or bombing, fill in the blank. A great example of this is Nasir al-Din al-Tusi. He was a brilliant Persian. There's a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Brilliant Persian polymath, physician, scientist, astronomer, and astrologer, whose smarts actually ended up saving his life when the Mongols overthrew the Abbasid Empire, and ended up keeping him around for his astrological advice. So this guy was like, hey, don't kill me. Look how smart I am.
I'm useful.
And they're like, fine. He does predict things really accurately. And this enabled him to build one of the most important observatories in ancient Persia that was like really, really accurate. And he actually founded what we think of as astronomy in the area. And of course, everyone stole from him.
Astronomy, not astrology.
Astronomy. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he was a scientist. Yeah. He was a scientist. But he would also be like, well, the stars told me that you shouldn't kill me. Because he was smart.
You didn't say it wrong, by the way. I just was clarifying for myself.
I might say it wrong at some point.
Okay.
And he is actually the source, credited as being the source from which Copernicus first implemented his idea of heliocentric solar model. So we orbit the sun. He would also partake in the beloved Persian pastime of writing scathing rebukes of Greek polymaths and scientists and how bad they were at math and science.
We've been this way. They're like, we're going to be salty. You stole all of our shit, and then you did it worse.
Yep. This was
and then you're going to take credit for it, and then you're going to I can't.
He wrote this thing that was just like, Copernicus isn't even doing it right. Are you kidding? And then everyone in Europe was like, Copernicus, woo! Yeah, so it's a pastime. I respect.
You said it, not me. Yeah.
Yep. But many times their predictions and readings would end up having huge historical influence, such as John Dee, a Welsh treasure hunter turned occult practitioner who rose to become Elizabeth I's right-hand man, and whose horoscope readings eventually pushed the Queen to begin colonizing the New World and launching the centuries of oppression at the hands of the British Empire.
That's not our responsibility. We didn't do that. The Persians didn't do that.
No, we did. The Welsh, unbelievably. we played a hand in our own demise.
All this innocence of like the Welsh being oppressed by everybody for so many years that you brought up. The truth comes out. They invented colonialism. They invented English colonialism. Is that what you're telling me?
Insane. Nah.
Is that what you're saying?
Here's what I'm saying: is that Elizabeth I tried chocolate, and she was like, "I want more of this. What should I do, astronomer?" And he's like, "Go get more." Go get more of it, and then there was a lot that went into it. But he was her buddy, and he was considered a magician. Everyone's like, "That's her magician, her court magician."
That's why you can't trust magicians, you guys.
No,
you can't trust them. They invent colonialism. That's the problem.
They invent colonialism, and some of them just invent like observatories. But whatever. But since it's this podcast, and I'm not Dan Carlin or at all a professional, we're going to leave that ancient world behind and hurtle through the centuries to the 1970s, where we will meet one of the most infamous modern-day court astrologers by the name of Joan Quigley. This episode's primary source comes from a tab I've had open for at least a year called Joan Quigley, Ronald Reagan's Guide to the Stars.
Oh, disgusting.
By Jessica Weisberg for the Paris Review. Now,
I hate this person. Whoever, I don't even know what you're going to tell me, but I hate them. Joan Quigley. I hope she's happy. Quigley down under in hell, I hope.
Oh, she's down there. I'm sure of it. She's down there with all of them. She's like, really, Thatcher and her are just constantly fighting over who gets to give Reagan the next hellish blowjob. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Nancy's retired from the game, even in hell.
Yeah, Nancy's. There's a lot of people in hell, Kaveh. There's a lot of people to blow. Do you think Nancy Reagan is? She's booked.
Yeah, that's true.
So this POS is. I'm going to tell you about her. She's what?
Point of sale, I said.
Yes, this point of sale is an astrologer. So I'm going to tell you about how this Republican Christian astrologer had a hand, in planning the daily schedule of Ronald Reagan's entire presidency through his wife, Nancy, and how her astrological readings ended up influencing world politics, international relations, the war on drugs, and even, as Joan claims, the end of the Cold War. Yeah, I went on a trip, dude.
Disgusting.
You know what? I knew we were stupid. Here, okay, hold on. Before I say that, I want to say I don't think astrology is bad. All right, everybody? I think that if it helps you, you can do it. But if you're influencing America's worst modern president to, change
life
laws,
and death decisions about like whether or not someone should get bombed or like basically the majority of an entire race should be put in jail.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. I don't think astrology is it, you guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's almost like asking a priest what they should do and then following that. And we shouldn't do that either. So I'm not against astrology. People love it. People think it's fun. It can be fun, but, keep it out of the White House. I read Joan's book. So
you read the book?
I tried. Joan is insufferable.
Is it like a pamphlet with like a bunch of drawings on the side? What is it?
It's like a 200-page book, and I skipped a lot of it because here's the thing. Is it like
a memoir? What is it?
Yeah. So Joan, this was like a reaction to Nancy's book, which was a reaction to another book. So there are 3 sources for this. Okay, Nancy Reagan, the former chief of staff that was fired because of the Iran-Contra affair, and Joan. So between those 3 sources, there is truth to a lot of this. But I am not going to pander to Joan's claims that she is the reason America is so great. Because if she's the reason for anything, it's because, America isn't. But anyway, her book is insufferable, but it is fun sometimes because she just rips on Nancy Reagan. Those parts are fun. But she explains half of it explaining how astrology works, which was so boring, and the other half taking credit for what she perceives as Reagan's triumphs. So I also got a lot of information from the other 2.
I assume.
Exactly. Yeah. Nancy's triumphs. And she also bragged a bunch about how great she is, and I was like, ugh. So all these 3 people have their own motivations. Okay. But I think the truth falls somewhere in the middle. Like it usually does. So Joan Quigley was born into a well-off family and grew up in the neighborhood of Nob Hill in San Francisco. Her parents owned a hotel in Union Square and could afford to send her and her sister, Ruth, to private school, as well as hire chauffeurs for them. They came of age in the highest social circles of the city. So already off to a bad start, in my opinion.
She's hanging out with like the Newsom grandparents, whatever, something or other.
Genuinely.
He was like a 6th generation San Franciscan, I think he was, right? He's like part of some old lineage of San Francisco people.
Old money, like some gold money or something.
Probably. I don't really know much about it. I just know that he's been, and his dad was in politics, right?
I think so. Newsom? I don't know. I wonder if the astrologers could tell us.
Yeah, the astrologers could. I'm looking at Wikipedia and
it says that Newsom
Rising
grew up
Moon, yes.
Man. So Joan did attend college, but didn't last long because her true passion was in astrology because her mom had gotten really into it. And her mom named Zelda, which is such a 1920s name. Just such a 1920s name.
Zelda. Yeah. This is Gatsby style, dude. That's all it is.
Her first job out of school was as the astrology columnist for 17 magazine, which quickly turned her off to all pop culture and fluff astrology.
What year is she born again?
She was born in the 20s. I'm pretty sure the 20s. Why didn't I write that down?
Has 17 been around that long?
Yes, it has. It has been around. So
I didn't realize that 17 magazine's been around for like 100 years.
Yeah, since like the 30s. She was born in 1927.
Really? Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
And she immediately was like, wow, people who read this suck and they're poor. No joke. She was like, okay, a bunch of poor people want me to just write a bunch of pop astrology. I'm better than that, and I know math. And so she was like, I'm not going to be some astrologist clown for all these idiots. And so she quit.
Yeah.
And just started doing charts, star charts and whatever, natal charts for people's babies and all the rich San Franciscans. And the way she approached it was all mathematical and precise, which you can do. If you can chart the stars, you can actually find exact positions. But then she would just interpret that as to mean like, I don't know, don't go outside on this day or you're going to get, I don't know, something bad happen to you. And she plucked her eyebrows really thin and had this gigantic like blonde bob. I'm going to send you a picture of her because she's something else.
Okay. She is something else. Oh, dear Lord. She is terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
She looks like Tony Soprano's mom. I forgot what the actress's name is, but when she was younger. Oh, won't the Lord take me now? You know what I'm talking about? Did you ever watch Sopranos?
No, of course not.
Oh. I don't know. Everyone it's TV. You sometimes watch TV.
I missed that one. My mom and dad loved it. But I just never saw it. Anyway, yeah, she looks like a rich astrologer. but she dressed like a conservative Christian. What? Oh, you sending me the
I'm just
picture?
looking at pictures of her. Like they look similar when she was younger, especially too, the actress. Nancy Marchand, I believe is her name.
Oh, I see what you I can see it. That same kind of like crazy the crazy eyes and the Yeah. Hairstyle.
The ringer.
She's nuts. She looks
dead
just
ringer.
like
if they
her.
ever.
Oh.
She does.
If they ever cast.
Unfortunately, she's passed away. I'd say otherwise she could play her in the movie.
So is Joan Quigley. Rest in piss. So she had this perfect blonde bob. She loved God and Christianity, but she also believed that God was talking to her through the stars. And so it was this odd like mix of Christianity and occultism that often happens, but people just don't call it for what it is. And Her first run-in with Nancy Reagan was in 1973. And it was through her good friend, Merv Griffin, who was a popular talk show host at the time.
Oh.
And yeah, so he
I like how
had
we
her
have
on
to
his
describe
show.
who Merv Griffin is because we're so old now at this
There's
point.
There's 10-year-olds who listen to this, apparently.
To be fair, that was old
Fallon.
even from when we were kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Merv Griffin had her on his show, and he got obsessed with her when she accurately predicted the dissolution of his marriage. He was like, "How'd you know?" And it's like, Merv, I think it might have been obvious.
I don't think you need to be an astrologist to know that if you're banging somebody, I have no idea if he was. But.
I don't know. But also, like, half of all marriages end in divorce. So it's like, there's
especially
a 50-50
Hollywood
chance.
Marriages. Yeah.
And he's like, this lady's crazy. Get her on the show.
Whoa. She predicted that I'd be a drunk and bang a bunch of whores.
I'm going to make that whore my wife. So, and so one day they were talking and he was like, hey, my friend, the first lady of California, Nancy Reagan, wants to know if I knew any good astrologers because we share a birthday and we're always talking about it, July 6th. Mm-hmm. And he loved astrology. And he was like, can you talk to Nancy? Because she's interested in paying you for your services. And he gives her the number and Nancy calls. And it starts off this decades-long relationship between the two. After Nancy and Joan became acquainted, they started calling, every year or so for like one big reading. And so Joan would be like, yeah, let me look at your chart, Nancy. Let me look at your husband's chart, the governor of California. And one thing she told Nancy at one point, Nancy Reagan, was, you and Ronald's charts are meant to be.
I hate when you just hear the name of Ronald. The first name of Ronald.
Awful. Dude, here's the thing. They never called him Ronald. In all the accounts, they just called him Ronnie. So they both only called him Ronnie. So she's like, you and Ronnie are meant to be, and your charts complement each other in the way that you guys are destined to be world famous.
What do the charts say about Ronald Reagan's sweatpants on that one photograph?
Look, I think that's why he was so powerful. There was astrology. I don't know. Magic sweatpants. Didn't we talk about how they had a mind of their own? And
yes. Where you were trying to claim that the sweatpants were the reason that Ronald Reagan was evil. And I was like, don't place the blame on the sweatpants. Okay. Ronald Reagan is evil all on his own. He does. If anything, the pants were trying to talk some sense into him.
That's
They're like,
right.
listen,
begging
just relax.
to be taken off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. They were begging Nancy to take them off.
Gray sweatpants season, ladies.
Ooh.
All you're thinking about is Ronald Reagan.
Ronnie. So Ronnie in his sweatpants. His apparently
it's my favorite band of the 60s.
I'm the lead singer of Ronnie and his sweatpants.
Yeah.
Dude,
produced by Phil Spector, funny enough.
Of course,
it's so
Phil
strange.
Spector was the one. Who else would it have been? Wall of Sound, dude.
Be my Ronnie.
Oh, poor Ronnie Spector.
I assume that's who the Ronettes were named after.
Ronald Reagan and his sweatpants.
Ew, that's disgusting. That's so disrespectful to the Ronettes. I take that back.
How could you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Man.
Public apology tour. The Ronettes deserve better than that.
Phil Spector can also go to hell.
Oh, 100%. He's there.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Giant
vying
wigs.
for a chance with Nancy.
Ew.
Okay. Where was I? Oh, so.
Okay, so.
She was like,
Quigley Down Under is like,
Quigley
you guys are going to be written in the stars.
Was like, in the stars, you guys are going to be world famous and you're going to change the world. And possibly even.
Technically, she wasn't wrong.
No, she wasn't.
Not for the better, but she's technically correct.
And so she was like, you need to be involved in his like day-to-day politics because together, if you do it together, that means, you'll be endlessly powerful. And whether or not.
She loved hearing that.
That's the thing. I was going to say, whether or not this pushed the Reagans closer to the presidency or not, I tend to believe it did because two former actors being told that they're going to change the world by an astrologer is right on point. Like.
That sounds made up.
I know.
That sounds like a punchline.
The Reagan era started here. So Nancy and Joan talk.
Not like now where it's the reality TV stars that run for president.
Yeah, it's always been a big
everything.
joke.
Yep.
Nancy and Joan talked frequently over the years. So like they started just once a year and then they kind of picked up a little bit because Nancy, everyone hated her, right? So like California was like, I hate this lady. She keeps buying expensive things and she doesn't care about Sacramento. She pretty much said, I hate Sacramento and no one should live here.
How dare she? Sacramento's lovely.
Sacramento.
I love Arden Fair Mall.
Yep.
Okay.
She besmirched it.
How dare you? I miss the old theaters, the dome theaters. Shout out to all the Sacramento listeners. I know we have
Shout out. You get the short end of the
I've
stick
mentioned
sometimes.
this. I spent every summer in Sacramento,
summer.
my grandmother's place. Yes, I spent many a year in Sac.
Sacramendi.
Sac is what the locals call it. Sacramendi.
Yeah.
She's on vacation. Or is it she's on a field trip in Sacramendi?
She's on a field trip to Sacramendi. When Lindsay Googled Sacramendi,
Yeah.
nothing showed up.
Listen, I know you got a crocodile in spelling, but why don't you continue?
I quote that constantly.
Let's regroup.
So, the star-crossed lovers, Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan, are about to embark on their next political move, which is the presidency. So, when he gets into the Oval, so here's the thing: during the whole 1980 campaign, before
into the oral office is more like
oral office, ew, throat goat. Yeah, Nancy, look, hot dog down a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You derailed me again. What was I? Oh, so during the whole 1980 campaign, she was there, which Nancy Reagan would then later say, no, I would never. But she was fully invested in this campaign, offered her assistance for very cheap, apparently, and would give like predictions on like what days would be best for him to debate, or what days who she should talk to and when. So she kind of like dictated his schedule during this campaign. And then
he just listened.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Well, his advisors were like, okay, yeah, let's all listen to the astrologer.
They all hated this woman. Everyone hated her. And so she kind of like backed into the shadows when he got the election, when he got the nomination, because the aides were like, we cannot have a socialite astrologer telling you when to have your debates. Like,
it's like an episode of Veep.
Yes, but so dumb. Ronald Reagan would listen to Nancy, and Nancy would listen to this lady. So they're in the White House, right? 1980, 1981. And according to Nancy, once they were in the White House, she stopped speaking to Joan. Totally. Oh. And according to Joan and the staff, the entire staff, they still corresponded maybe once every 3 months. And they would all be like, Nancy, you got to stop. You got to stop talking to her. And she'd be like, I do what I want. And so how often would they talk? Yeah, about every 3 months. And they didn't want this getting out because conservative Christians had put him in office. And they hated the devil. And horoscopes were the devil.
Are astrology part of like the devil? Is that how that works? Is that satanic practice?
And here's where I think a lot of these conservative Christians were like, if you are receiving inspiration or speaking, like something besides God is giving you guidance spiritually, then it is of Satan.
Sorry, you mean like a preacher?
No, so they don't know. God talks through preachers, but if you're asking the stars, that goes against God being the creator and the
makes
and the
perfect
divine.
sense. It's absolutely logical here. Yeah, love it.
And so she kind of walked this weird line of like, no, God talks through the stars. It's like, okay, whatever, man. So they had to keep it like on the down low. And
you don't want Billy Graham getting pissed off at you.
And come on, he just pretty much lives at the White House at this point.
That's true. Billy giveth and Billy taketh away.
And yeah, Billy. This is I see Joan as no different than Billy Graham, honestly. Where it's just like she's in there, she's meddling.
No, she's very different because she didn't deliver like all southern states to Reagan the way that Billy Graham did.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
He's much more dangerous. Although I don't know, like you said, she listened to her and then did dumb things as well. So maybe it's just as dangerous.
And arguably some things that were good, which we'll get to. Which
okay.
I
don't know.
So the Reagan presidency got off to a weird start, in that Nancy kind of was like trying to meddle a lot with his. Because remember, she was like, no, we're doing this together. And he's like, okay.
She's all we president. Yeah, essentially.
Yes, exactly. And she was like, I'm going to be in charge of your schedule. And it was, annoying and everything. But she seemed harmless. But it seemed harmless enough.
That's Nancy. Yeah. That's old throat goat.
And so Joan was just kind of giving like, here's a good day for traveling. And here's a good time of day for traveling. And so she kind of like helped manage his, Air Force One schedule. And Nancy would tell all the aides. She would go straight to the current chief of staff, whose name was Mike Deaver. And Mike Deaver.
Out of my way, Mike Deaver. A beaver is coming through.
A throat beaver. No, throat goat beaver. Move, Mike. Okay, Mike Deaver was an old friend, and
was a diva.
He was like a lapdog to Nancy Reagan. He would do anything she said. Anything. And so he's like, oh, sure, yeah, I'll put that into the schedule. No problem. I'm not even going to ask where you got that information. And they called him Nancy's Nancy.
Oh. Does that mean he was like he was gay?
Effeminate.
Or like the person that bossed him around and told him. Wait, what would Nancy's Nancy would be the person that would dictate her schedule, which would technically be Quigley.
Oh.
Right?
Right. I think
but you're saying Nancy as in like it's like an old timey like gay insult.
Gay insult, yeah. They also called him the Lord of the Chamber Pot, and I don't know what that means.
Groom of the Stool?
I think so.
Shout out to Alex.
Alex brought poop. Okay, so he would pretty much do anything she asked. And Nancy ended up paying Joan by sending her friends money, and the friends would pay Joan. So she was like, I don't want this to be tied.
Oh, so there's laundering involved as well. I love it.
Very much so. And now all of this could have just stayed as it was, just dictating his flight schedule. But then on March 30th, 1981, Ronald Reagan was shot as he walked to his limo outside the Washington Hilton Hotel.
I love this part.
By Jodie Foster superfan and fellow cat portrait artist John Hinckley Jr. And this is when I stand up and show the beautiful shirt I'm wearing.
Hell yeah.
You got it for me, and it's a painting of a cat by John Hinckley Jr. And I almost cried when I opened it. And I was like, I have the perfect shirt for this episode. Amazing. And so, he shoots 6 shots, and one of them ricochets inside of Reagan and misses his heart by like an inch. Shameful. And the fact that he survived was miraculous. Like, he just shouldn't have survived. Like, everything about that bullet was perfect in that it didn't cause like a fatal like rupture or even any internal bleeding. And he was back on top a month later, just back doing stuff.
You think Reagan's a top?
Reagan is not a top. Yeah. I thought maybe he used to be a power bottom, but I think he's just a straight up bottom.
No, I think he just lies there.
He's a corpse.
I don't think he even like puts up his butt. I think he just like he just naps the whole time.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think Nancy's
that man does not give top energy at all. Oh yeah, for sure.
Nancy's scary.
Yeah.
I don't like her. This understandably traumatized throat goat. Sorry. This understandably, I gotta stop calling her a throat goat.
Why?
I don't know. This understandably traumatized.
Every person that died of AIDS in the 80s would appreciate it if you just referred to it as throat goat.
This understandably traumatized Nancy deeply because she had already been prone to anxiety and superstition.
Poor Nancy Reagan.
Pushed her into full paranoia.
I'm so stressed out.
She would panic when he left the house or got out of a car. She couldn't be in public spaces with him because she would just have panic attacks. My evil husband gets shot at. And according to Joan, in her fear, Nancy reached out for guidance, being like, could you have told me about this assassination attempt if you had been here? And Joan said, yes, I could have.
Smart move on Joan's part. Yeah.
Very smart. Job security. And Nancy was like, okay, then I need you here. I need you involved in my everyday life because I do not want him to get assassinated. She said, astrology was simply one of the ways I coped with the fear I felt after my husband almost died. She writes, my relationship with Joan began as a crutch. In one of several ways I tried to alleviate my concern about Ronnie. So, fine. Nancy, on the other hand, claims that Joan came to her and said she had foreseen the assassination attempt. And if Nancy had just had her, do his charts, she could have told him. So whoever went to who first, this began the actual terrifying reign of Joan in the White House, in that she and Nancy talked almost every single day, sometimes 3 times a day, for his entire presidency. So every decision Reagan made, Nancy ran past Joan. And sometimes, and not every time would it like actually pan out. Like a lot of the aides were like, nah, absolutely not. Why is she in here? Why is she here? And Joan was just in her house in San Francisco this whole time. She met Nancy once in person.
Oh, she wasn't even she wasn't even in the White House. They were just talking on the phone.
On the phone. Hours, 9-hour conversations where she would like get into like this flow state of like reading the stars and being like, and then, Gorbachev's, his astrology, his star chart says this, and so-and-so says this, and the Nicaraguans say this, and then the star chart for the country of the United States is this, and it's like just stuff like that where it's like...
The star chart for the country of the United States? It gets its own star chart?
Yes, because it had a birthday.
Oh,
so
I guess
she
you're
had
right,
a
huh?
yeah.
What time was the United States born?
I don't know. I didn't read that part of her book because I was so bored. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't care. So she would do the star chart of countries and leaders, and she would compare those to Ronnie's and
Ronnie.
and
Shy
things like
Ronnie.
that. And what up, Ronnie? Shy Ronnie. Mike Deaver,
We
of
lost your
course,
place.
again, didn't question any
Mike
what?
Diva, right. Mike Diva.
Mike Diva Beaver didn't question any of it. It was an open secret at the White House that Reagan needed to run things by his wife, who then had to run things by her quote-unquote friend in San Francisco. Even members of the public started noticing when he would schedule his press conferences at odd times, such as, 1:14 or 12:56. And they'd be like, what's wrong with him? Is he just trying to, catch us off guard? No, it was
That's
way
the
dumber.
reason they thought that something was wrong with him?
Yeah. Then the go-between changed, so there was a new chief of staff. Ronald Reagan's next chief of staff's name, are you ready for his name? Donald Reagan. That is not a joke.
It's just Ronald Reagan, with a mustache.
Yes, it's his doppelganger that has a mustache or a hat. He's wearing a hat.
Yeah, or every time someone calls, they're like, hold on, let me go get Ronnie. And it's just the whole time it's Ronald Reagan answering the phone, yeah.
This is Donnie, chief
Hello?
of staff.
Hello, this is Donald Reagan. I'm his British brother.
So Donald Reagan hated Nancy. He hated astrology.
This is Donald Reagan's alter ego. Oh, this is Ronald Reagan's alter ego. This is his Chris Gaines.
Seriously.
This is where he gets to be who he really thinks.
Between two Reagans, Nancy was.
Between two.
And
ew. Oh, God. It's the worst image.
They're all dead. So it doesn't matter anymore. And
no, I don't care about being offensive. It's sickened me to think about being between two Reagans.
Donald and Ronald Reagan. It sounds
Listen,
like
they both take off the sweatpants and then they put their hands through it for some reason, and then on top of their heads. And then they're just flailing around like this.
The Eiffel Tower through the legs of the sweatpants.
Yeah, exactly.
So Donald Reagan was sick of her, and Mike Deaver was like, "Look, Donnie Reagan, you just have to let her tell you what to do." And he was like, "Are you kidding?" She did prevail, and he said, virtually every move and decision the Reagans made during my time as the White House chief of staff was cleared in advance with this woman in San Francisco who drew up horoscopes to make certain that the planets were in a favorable alignment for the enterprise. And he went on to say, the president's schedule is the single most potent tool in the White House.
Yeah.
He described Mrs. Reagan as presiding over a shadow pregnancy. I keep saying pregnancy. He accused her of being a shadow presidency. In a genuine belief that she was the best judge of her husband's interests. So she did end up...
I gotta interject here on some level. This is not in defense of Nancy, okay?
No, I know. I might know exactly what you're about to say.
Right, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me. Why don't you tell me what I'm about to say, Hannah?
No, go for it.
No, I think I know what you're... Yeah, exactly.
You were going to say we're giving too much credit to other people and not Reagan? Yeah, I have a whole part about that. Because
not even just Reagan, but also all these other pieces of shit who screw up, and then they just basically throw. This is all the White House is just people throwing each other under the bus and being like, Nancy Reagan's the whole reason that whatever Star Wars was a disaster, or the Iran Contra affair happened, or that whole administration is just everybody blaming each other. Yeah.
I'm about to get
Oliver
into the
North
Iran
actually
Contra.
screwed it all up because of his sign, because he was a Gemini, Aquarius rising.
Aquarius rising.
These people are all liars. It's not even any kernel of truth between any of this. I would say, yeah. Really? How about you do your job and stop saying that the first lady is the one that's dictating all this stuff? Yep. Shut up.
It's so funny because Donald Reagan's book. That's all it was, because he was the one who took the fall for the Iran Contra affair, because he was chief of staff, and everyone's like, everyone was the worst during that, but he took the fall and had to resign. Wrote a book blaming Nancy, and so it's like, are you kidding? The book was just like, oh, and this lady, can you believe this? And it's like, oh man, you really messed it up. You messed everything up. And so his was just like this fallen politician writing a smear piece on Nancy Reagan, and then Nancy, politician. Anyway, I got ahead of myself a little bit, but we'll get there. So,
sorry.
The extent of of Quigley's influence on the White House is debated, because Nancy says, no, it was just day-to-day scheduling. And, Donald Reagan says, no, it was literally everything. And Joan says, it was a lot of things. But Joan was a little more like on Nancy's side in that way, where it's like, well, it was all harmless. And Reagan ended up adopting a desk calendar, a color-coded desk calendar that he would use for the rest of his time in office.
He went to the shelter and adopted one. I love it. It was a rescue calendar.
A rescue calendar. It has 3 legs. No one wanted it.
They're about to put the calendar down, but he decided
they had the needle ready, and he was like, "No!" It rescued. Some would say it saved him. So, the desk calendar.
Him. Yeah.
So the desk calendar had 3 colors: red, yellow, and green, and those were the colors that Joan would give Nancy according to her calculations for what day was good for things. And so he would mark the bad days red, and those days he wasn't really allowed to he wasn't allowed to leave the White House. Get on planes, go talk to people, have press conferences unless it was an emergency.
Yeah.
Green days were very auspicious, and they're like, get everything good done on green days. And yellow days were fine. But if you went out, because here's the thing, she convinced Nancy that these red days meant that he was vulnerable to assassination, and that's her biggest fear. And so this whole thing was because she was obsessed with him, but scared of him dying.
Yeah, because of astrology, not because of him being a horrible person. Not
because he's a garbage human being who never should have been in power, should have stayed in Hollywood. So this color-coded calendar, he used his whole presidency, not pregnancy.
Yeah.
She even helped him choose doctor's appointments and dates of surgeries. For example, okay, here's 1986. So we got January 16th through the 23rd. Very bad, don't leave. January 20th, don't do anything outside the White House because there will be a possible attempt on your life. February 20th through the 26th, be careful, yellow day. All through March, don't go outside. Very bad. It's March 21st, no. March 27th, no. Racism. March 12th through 19th, no trips.
So racist against Nowruz. I hate it.
Oh, you're right. What do you expect? Reagan to celebrate
Really?
Nowruz?
You're an astrologist and you hate the lunar calendar? What the shit?
Right. And then all of April, he needed to be careful. And then stay home at the last day of April. So it's just stuff like that. Like
420, make sure that you're home with those sweatpants, bro.
Yeah, dude. Just hotbox the Oval Office.
Office, yeah.
Oral office. So Nancy would then sometimes dislike staffers, and with Joan's support, she would push to have them replaced. A lot of times with really inept people that she chose herself. And a lot of times it wouldn't go through, but like a lot of times it would. So one of these staffers was Donald Reagan. She's like, I hate this guy. I hate your doppelganger, alter ego, evil side. Good side? Anyway. And she tried to get him fired for the entirety of his term there, and it never worked. He ended up resigning again over his mishandling of the Iran-Contra affair. She also had favorites, like, for example, this one guy.
His mishandling of the Iran-Contra affair, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he took the fall, but it's like, it was so messed up, dude. And so one of her contenders was actually a former Hitler Youth that she wanted to put in.
Great. And just keeps getting better.
She just chose the worst people. And even Ronald Reagan was like, we're not doing your ideas.
Yeah, maybe not Hitler Youth.
We can't have a Hitler Youth in the White House. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays they would only
America's
hire
not
Hitler
ready
Youth.
for that yet. Yeah, it's going to be a couple more years before we're
nowadays it's like a plus.
Like that. It's like that Back to the Future meme where he's like, oh, you guys aren't ready for it, but your children are going to love the Hitler Youth. Your children are all going to elect a member of the Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
Hitler, basically, yeah. Shitler.
And Shitler Youth. And so, another time, the Bitburg controversy, where he flew into Bitburg, Germany, and laid some.
No, I don't know this.
He laid some wreaths on a bunch of graves in a German cemetery that also was a burial ground for Nazis. And Jewish Americans were like, "Are you kidding?" Because it was in memory of the war, because there was American soldiers there, and everyone's like, "Why would you do that?" And
that was a quote unquote mistake.
Yeah, that was totally didn't even think, right? But it could have been a lot worse, because if he hadn't have had Joan telling him when to land the plane, who knows what could have happened. And so
crashed.
She told him he needed a circle. They had her on the phone on Air Force One. She was like, just keep circling. Just keep circling.
Daytime minutes back in the 80s? That's crazy.
Uh-huh. And so
wasn't
he
even
circled
after 9
over.
p.m.
Right. They had to pay for that.
It's
she told him to
taxpayer
circle
dollars
for almost an hour, I want to say. Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then he was allowed to land because the auspicious time for landing had been revealed to her. And so
she's just eating a bag of chips the whole time, too. She's like, nah, keep going.
I genuinely
toilet, taking a shit. Like yeah. Taking a shit and eating potato chips, just waiting. Oh, we're out of chips. Now I gotta go to the store. Yeah, go ahead and land the plane. I gotta go.
Yeah, bye. Bye. See ya. Done.
Yeah.
The stars say it's fine now.
Yeah.
And she also claimed that because his presidency was described as the Teflon presidency because seemingly nothing seemed to stick. And she was
I thought you were going to say because it was found out to be poisonous and actually killed people.
And it will kill all of us. And whoever invented it should be shot. Yeah, that. I'm not even going to take that back. So she was like, you know what that Teflon is, right? Astrology. That was the astrology. And she said that it was because she coached them on how to be. And especially Nancy, everyone thought she was the worst because she was. She was the one who was like, Nancy, you've got to get into charities. What are you interested in? Let's read the stars. And Nancy's like, I don't like drugs. And Joan was like, let's go.
I don't like drugs. I don't like gay people.
Gay people. I don't like women.
Yeah. What did the astrologists say about AIDS? I'm just curious.
Nothing.
Is there nothing in the book about it?
Nothing.
It's great. Ignored in the book, just like it was in real life.
Completely ignored. I didn't see anything about
it. It didn't even happen. Oh, no. Funny how there's nothing in the stars about that.
Nope. About how many people, millions and millions of men dying
Disgusting.
And getting ignored. Travesty. It's awful. So, yeah, no, she was like, Nancy, we got to make you more like likable because at this point, everyone just thinks you're a rich snob from California because she was.
Yeah, you know the best way to do that is her being dead along with her husband. That would have made them so likable.
I would have loved Reagan if he were dead earlier. Imagine. His legacy could have been so much better dead.
It's true.
What was I saying?
Can you tell we have strong feelings?
I know. I was like, do I come into this unbiased? I'm like, absolutely not. I don't know how to be unbiased.
Why
Ronald
hide
Reagan
it? Who cares?
Ruined the world. This all started with him. Okay? This unchecked capitalism. I mean, I don't know. One could argue that it all started with that Welsh treasure hunter that told Elizabeth to come here and steal things. But anyway, look, I didn't. Who knows who started it? Not my problem. I'll just be a regular white person.
It's very much our problem, actually.
I didn't do it. Well, I wasn't the one. Every white person. Why should I pay for their mistakes?
Yeah. Sorry, continue. We're trying to figure out how to make Nancy Reagan more likable. So she's like, why don't we arrest half the country?
Yes, 100%. She was like, so Nancy told her, she's like, I want people to love me. I want everyone to love me like they loved Jackie. She was like, I'm going to help Nancy with her marriage and her appearance and all of it. And she got her into fashion. Like, she was like, well, let's figure out your charities. And she chose, the war against drugs. And she leaned in. I would say the war against drugs was mainly, she was the catalyst behind it. And she made that choice with the help of an astrologer. Mm-hmm. And
probably some sort of private prison, something or other.
Oh, I'm sure money was just pouring in.
Again, this is one of those things where it's like, blame it on the astrologer, not on the prison industrial complex.
Nope. Oh, and we weren't secretly bringing cocaine into the country at this time either. No. It wasn't like a whole operation. I hate these people. I hate them so much. So I'm sorry, I'm all over the place because I hate these people so much. Quigley said Nancy could chew someone up and swallow and spit up the bones and never feel a thing. And I thought she could spit and swallow.
Of words, yeah.
Look, the throat goat can definitely chew something up and spit it out. So Quigley also felt like she was doing her American duty as a patriot by protecting the president from getting assassinated. Which, come on! If she hadn't been there, maybe he would have died. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe astrology's real and she prevented his death. So she helped Nancy reconstruct her image, and she said, my pupil was a consummate actress, but I couldn't help feeling that while she had worked hard and studied diligently, she had never really fully understood the reason for taking the course of, charities.
She didn't understand the idea of why you would...
She pretty much said, Nancy, you just did what I said.
What's the point of philanthropy?
Genuinely. She just wanted people to like her. That's what Joan says. And she's like, she didn't give much thought to, anything besides...
She didn't get anything from it either. Well, no. I mean, to be fair, she did do a really bad job at it, so it would make sense that she would not
she really, really failed.
She didn't really engage in philanthropy. She just figured out a way to just put a bunch of people in jail. Yeah.
She was lucky that also everyone was racist, because if they weren't,
exactly.
this would
that's
not have
all
taken
it
off.
was.
Yeah. It was her giving permission to,
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like she didn't.
No.
She technically didn't actually engage in philanthropy. She didn't go.
She did not. She showed up. Yeah. She did what she was supposed to do. She, kissed babies or
That's
whatever.
Probably why.
Posed with some Chinese kids. Genuinely, that was
some
one
babies
of the
whose
things
parents got
about.
arrested for no reason on some like minor drug offense. Yeah.
She used to go pose with Vietnamese adoptees, and it's like, oh, come on, we killed their parents. Okay. Yeah. It's like so backwards in every way. So she also said that she wanted to be impressive to the King and Queen of England, because Jackie was. And she said, I was always amused by her
over
worship.
Jackie, dear Lord.
Right? Come on.
Get your own personality.
She doesn't have one. No. She said, I was always amused by her worshipful attitude toward royalty. But then there are a lot of women in this country who would drink the tea that was dumped in the Boston Harbor if it meant being invited to curtsy to the Queen of England.
Honestly, she's not wrong there. That's actually spot on, unfortunately.
That is still a thing. The royal wedding, okay.
How much you loved the royal wedding. I remember you asked me about it. You're like, where were you on the day of the royal wedding? And I was like, I didn't realize that was the day of the royal wedding.
Did I ask you that?
Yeah. I remember,
because I was in England. And I was like, these people are insane. I remember
there was an episode where you asked me, like, where were you on whatever the date was? I don't remember what the date was. I don't remember what episode it was, but I do remember you asked me, and I was like, why
I also don't know the date. I just know it was in 2011 because I went there. Oh, I went there right after, and I was like, these people are crazy. Every gift shop had William and Kate stuff, and I was like, is this a cult? Yes, it is. So here's the big thing, though, that she takes credit for.
Okay.
The end of the Cold War.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Makes total sense. So Reagan hated the Russians. He was hard-lined on them. And he was going to go to Geneva to have a summit with Gorbachev in 1985. And before the summit, of course, Nancy was like, hey, Quigley, I need you to do a reading on this whole thing. When should we land the plane? What?
This Gorbachev guy, I need you to look at his head.
Yeah, tell me what you can read his head.
Yeah, you read his birthmark.
I'm looking at like reading tea leaves, but reading birthmarks. So she said, "Okay, here's what I'm seeing in the stars: is that Ronnie's evil empire attitude has to go. It's not doing him any favors.
Interesting.
And he needs to approach this summit with a friendlier attitude toward Gorbachev." And Nancy was like, "Why? He's the enemy." And she said, "Well, Gorbachev's Aquarian planet is in such harmony with Ronnie's. You'll see. They'll share a vision." So she pretty much foretold that they are actually meant to be best buddies because they're both Aquarius. And so she was like, look.
They're all... She's all, perestroika? How about I perestroke ya?
Pretty much. And she helped plan the time of the plane landing and when he should talk to Gorbachev and what he should say.
Where was she on 9/11? Just out of curiosity.
Dead.
It's just she's so specific with times.
She was alive.
And planes.
Oh, no. Later she said, I'm too tired to do this anymore. After
to do 9/11? I see. Yeah.
She did 9/11. Joan Quigley could have stopped this.
George W., you need to be somewhere else. You need to be teaching these, or you reading this book to these kids at this time.
He's reading their horoscope. Mm-hmm. Joan Quigley only saves white people, by the way. I realized looking at all of her clients, I'm like, I see a pattern here. Rich white people. So the Reagans, here's the thing. It actually worked. He and Gorbachev, it started kind of cooling off warming up the relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
And from then on, they had a lot more talks that were building toward something that looked like peace. And I don't know if the astrologer had anything to do with this. I don't know. But she loves to tell people she ended the Cold War. Either way, by the time he was out of office...
Definitely not Russia collapsing from the inside from years, decades of
it leading up to it. No, it was this lady in her house in San Francisco eating chips on a toilet. So her book, half of it's just like, and I ended the Cold War. And it's like, Joan. So the fall of all of this, okay? At the twilight of his presidency and also the twilight of his functioning brain, the Iran-Contra affair was spinning out of control. The Reagan administration had illegally sold weapons to Iran and was using the leftover money to fund the Contras in Nicaragua to end the socialist uprising. And that is the shortest, most watered down possible way I could even explain that. There's so much more. Go listen to a podcast about it. But Donald Reagan, again, was the guy.
The fake Reagan.
The fake Reagan, the mustachioed Reagan, was the one who was like, got the fall for this. And he had to resign. And almost immediately he dropped an autobiography called For the Record, From Wall Street to Washington, where he spent most of the book just dunking on Nancy Reagan and how inept and annoying she was.
From Wall Street to Washington. That's so disgusting.
It's gross. And how she ran a shadow government and how she had unsecured phone conversations with somebody about Reagan's every movement. So, of course, Nancy's like, how dare he? He should do all these like interviews being like, no, we didn't listen to astrologers. And so she wrote her autobiography called My Turn, The Memoirs of Nancy Reagan, where she touched a little bit on the astrology stuff, but mainly just put the blame on Quigley. And then Joan read it and she was like, absolutely not. I won't have this. And so a third autobiography was written within 2 years of the first of Donald Reagan's. And she was like, here's my version of the truth. And all of this actually just distracted from the actual problem, which was Ronald Reagan being president at all. And I think that most of these books, here's the thing,
exactly
everyone online is like, can you believe this? I was like, I can, but I can also believe that even without this astrologer, Ronald Reagan would have done just as much damage. Maybe more, maybe less, but he still would have done damage because he is a bad person.
Who was that? I read someone's, I don't remember where, this has escaped me completely. I don't know who it was. I don't remember where I read it or if it was like an interview with somebody. Somebody was talking about how they knew Reagan and they were like, yeah, I remember seeing him like in his room getting ready for a speech, like practicing his speech, like with the cards and stuff, like preparing like the way that an actor does. And they were like, it was interesting because you're like, this man is the president, but he seems to be really focused on like this performance that's about to happen. And they were like, it was almost like this man has no, I mean, it wasn't just the dementia. It was like, he was really, because the thing they always said about Reagan, they were like, he had a lot of charisma, right? Everybody loved him in every room that he went into. Like everybody was like, oh my God, he was like the most charming, funny, whatever. But when it came to like actually like doing anything or making any real decisions, it could be like anyone's guess, right? It's like, he's on one side, he's like, well, he's just a charismatic hollow shell who like doesn't do anything and just like sort of lets the worst people imaginable run the country, right? Or it could also be like, he is also a terrible piece of shit who was he was anti-union and like, you know, he had a history of just being awful even before this.
He all of Hollywood turned on him because Nancy Reagan ratted out a bunch of people who thought she thought they were commies. They flipped, even though he was the head of SAG for a while, but he then became anti-union and that's
what I'm saying. He was super anti-union and like, but that's, I mean, it's like, I don't know which one to believe. I mean, obviously I think it's just somewhere in the middle about all of them, but it's like him being a mastermind sounds just as unlikely as him being like checked out the entire time. I think he's right. I'm like, I don't know which one it is
because I don't think he was a mastermind. I think that he loved his ego being stroked. Because honestly, here's the thing. I'm not saying all actors are like this, but there is an aspect of
not all actors
of acting that is a lot of outside validation that you are seeking. Like, I think that he can put on a show, and so can Nancy. Not a good show. Both of them were B-list actors, but they could both put on a show. And surrounding themselves with people who are very influential, can influence them, I think ended up being one of the worst things about the presidency. I think you're right.
That never happened again.
I think it's abort that presidency. I think somewhere in the middle. I think he's a hollow shell who has no moral compass, and I think Nancy was the same way.
Except when it came to certain things, is what I'm saying though. Like I think there were definitely things where like he was categorically evil about.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it was just like, oh, look, he just was dumb and his advisors did everything. But I did, again, I wish I could remember what it was from, but I did think that was a really interesting little tidbit that they were like, he's just sitting and practicing. They were like, who gives a shit about this speech? Like, you're going to go read from a teleprompter. Who cares? But he was like, no, I have to make sure I like put this performance on. It escapes me right now what it was.
They were really obsessed with their image. Like he would track his polls, his approval rating. Constantly. And it was a kind of an obsession. It sounds like someone else. An obsession of his that he would obsess over that. And here's another weird thing about this is that I thought maybe this was like the only instance of this, and this is going long. I guess we're going to cut out a bunch of us being an idiot.
Yeah. The only instance of what?
the only instance of a modern day court astrologer influencing a president and their decisions, but it's absolutely not.
The entire administration right now is just filled with astrologers, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring another one of our most hated boys in, Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
This did not start with Reagan.
He had an astrologer?
Yes, he did.
What?
Nixon had an astrologer. FDR had an astrologer. Yeah, so I'm going to just do a quick background because I was like, well, how did this even happen? And it's like, no, there was a precedent for this. So,
a precedent for this, yeah.
A president pregnancy. As you know, Los Angeles is like this astrology Vatican. That's like the mecca of astrology.
Every other person that you meet, yeah.
And now it's like that. And it has kind of always been that way, especially when the Reagans were acting. And so there was this astrologer in Los Angeles, the astrologer to the stars. His name was Carol Reiter. And he was he was openly gay.
Double entendre, yeah.
Carol Reiter was an openly gay astrologer and one of Ronald Reagan's closest friends. He would advise him on when to audition, what to audition for, and who to, rub elbows with. He was an acolyte of the famous Evangeline Adams, who was a astrologer and great-granddaughter of John Adams. So, this goes way back. He'd schedule all of their meetings and auditions, and he'd also host this weekly night astrology class, which Nancy Reagan started attending. Mm-hmm. And Ronald told her about. And he started coaching them, not just on acting, because their stars were fading by then, but on getting him to be the governor of California. And he even warned him, don't run, that comes later, sorry. He even helped get him the governorship by reading his charts. And I didn't know this, but Ronald Reagan did not want to be president, or so he says.
Yeah.
He was happy with just being the governor of California and retiring because he was old. And if it were up to him, he just wouldn't, apparently. But Nancy was the one who was like, well, an astrologer told me that we're destined. Yeah. And here's the thing, there was that Carol Reiter, there was Joan Quigley, and there was one other astrologer, Jean Dixon. She was FDR's astrologer. And she was really popular because she accurately predicted the JFK assassination. While also inaccurately predicting literally everything else. So, it's just people like to choose what they want to. And at the time, when this was in the paper that she predicted the assassination, it caught the attention of Richard Nixon, who was considering running for president.
Huge fan of your work that you could tell when JFK was going to die. Of course, Richard Nixon would have loved this person.
Well, I think they're just all so superstitious that none of them want to die. Everyone wants to be alive forever. And I don't know. And many of his staffers were super fans of Jean, and they would call her, and she would just wander around Washington, D.C., going in and out of buildings, giving people advice.
How do we get that job? That sounds fun,
right?
Honestly.
I want to go in there and be like, kill yourself. How about that? The stars say kill yourself.
Your astrology chart is saying for you to jump out of an airplane without a parachute today.
Please. You'll survive.
You'll survive.
But the biggest person, the most influential person in the Nixon White House to be close to Jean was Rosemary Woods. And she was his secretary. And she was also the one who had accidentally deleted the 17 minutes of the Watergate tapes. And she would talk to Jean Dixon every day.
Nice.
Just like Nancy would. She would then turn these readings into briefings for the president. She didn't even tell them they were astrology readings. This influenced the Soviet arms race, diplomatic relations, and how to handle the Watergate scandal. Jean Dixon even met with Nixon, and she told him that she had a prophecy in the 50s about a young man who God would make great, and that she believed that man was Nixon, and that he would be the father of our country and lead us to Christ. Again, these astrologers are all Christian for some reason. And unlike Reagan, Nixon pretty much thought, this is a grifter, but I like what she says. And he called for her opinion and guidance on how to handle the Munich Olympics attack. She was there at the White House helping him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you don't seem surprised, but what? Come on.
Are you surprised?
I guess. I just didn't know it could get this dumb. Here's the thing.
Really?
I know it could get this dumb, but it feels especially nihilistic in a way that this dumb of a thing resulted in so much suffering. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, not surprised though by how stupid
I think
people
it's just
are
hitting
and how
me
awful it is.
This lady just be like, oh, the stars say this, and Like,
again, I don't think that, like we said, you don't know who to believe in terms of whose perspective it is. I think it's like everyone's looking to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
Or to take credit for everything, right? Like when you get to this level
Right.
of like narcissism, it's like everything that's great was as a result of me, and everything that was terrible was somebody else's fault. So
100%.
who knows? You know what I mean?
All these books I've read are that. Yeah, she also told him to tell Kissinger to form an anti-terrorism task force and that he would get assassinated if he went outside. So he called her the soothsayer, and she would just walk around. And she also advised FDR during World War II. Gene Dixon actually was then hired by the Reagans later, and they were like, "Hey, aren't we the guy, the king who was promised or whatever?" And then the Nixon campaign was like, "Oh, we got to get rid of her. She's on the Reagan side." Like, it was just this crazy Game of Thrones style madness. And
it's almost like narcissists are stupid.
It's almost like narcissists are the dumbest people alive because all they can think about is themselves. And everyone around them knows that. So, for about 50 years, our country was led by astrologists. And that's my tab. Yep.
Thank you for that tab, Hannah. Let's go ahead and close them. What kind of sound do you want to use? I don't know what sound effect you can have.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Should we hang up the phone on it? Should we hang up the phone on these tabs?
Love it. Click.
Click.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Add a little dial tone in there, too.
Goodbye. All right, moving on to listener emails. Our email today is from Mary from Vancouver, Washington.
Okay.
Mary writes, "Hi, Hannah, Alyssa, and Kaveh. Last time I wrote in was about the Kentucky meat shower. Do you remember that one?
I do.
I was traumatized by that one. I just wanted to let y'all know that there is a whole phenomenon of reign of animals that has its own wiki tab. The one that had the most specific information I could find involves a yearly festival in Yoro, Honduras called Lluvia de Peces. How do you say fish?
It's Lluvia de Peces.
Peces. Lluvia de Peces. De Peces.
Yeah.
Basically, once yearly during the rainy season in this area of Honduras, fish are found on the ground after large storms.
What?
For this one, they don't actually seem to be falling from the sky, but a girl can dream. It's important to note that the nearest marine source for the fish is 72 kilometers away. This is not a coastal area. How far is 70 kilometers? Like 50 miles?
Let's find out. We're idiots.
We're not idiots. We're American. Actually, that's redundant. Yes.
One and the same. 43 miles. You were close.
43 miles. Like with the Kentucky beach shower, there are multiple theories for where the fish come from. One is that strong winds and water spouts carried the fish there. This is the most common explanation for animal rain in general. But some people think this is unlikely due to the distance from the ocean. Another theory is that the fish live in some sort of cave system and the heavy rain washes them up. The water recedes and the fish are left behind. Wikipedia does also include this. Quote, Spanish priest Father Jose Manuel de Jesus Subarina arrived in Honduras in 1855 and stayed until his death in 1864. In legend, it is said that Father Subarina saw how poor the people of Honduras were and prayed 3 days and 3 nights asking God for a miracle to help the poor people and to provide them with food. After these 3 days and nights, God took note of this, and there came a dark cloud. Many tasty fish fell from the sky, feeding all the people. Since then, this wonder is repeated every year.
Sounds like the Spanish colonizers were the reason they were starving. But yeah, go on.
That sounds right. Lots of love from your friendly neighborhood vegetarian veterinarian who is nonetheless fascinated by animals falling from the sky, Mary. Thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. It's crazy.
That is funny. I like it. What would your favorite fish to fall from the sky be? I would say tuna because they're giant, and I think it would be really funny to watch.
I'd say
them break
sunfish because they're made of cartilage, and that'd be funny to watch them just blow up when they hit the ground.
Okay, I like that. If you also have an email that you'd like to share with us, please send it to 500opentabs@gmail.com. That's 500.
Yep.
We need more listener emails, guys.
Please. It can be anything at this point. Ask us a would you rather, because that got a lot of views, by the way.
That's gotten very really popular. Yeah, our little would
send
you rather
in
be
fight a chicken or kill a chicken every time you pee, or fight a monkey once a month,
or fight a primate every 3 months.
Send in your unhinged would you rather. Yeah, we want some of those. You know, at this point, just say something to us.
Just talk to us. Let us know.
Just talk to us.
We are going to be at Oklahoma Comic Arts Festival on September 12th. Please come check that out. We are going to be at New York Comic-Con or October 8th through the 12th. We do not have a table number yet, but we will be in Artist Alley. We still got some time before then. But Oklahoma people, if you're in Oklahoma, come check us out. If you know anybody in Oklahoma, tell them about us.
Yes, please do. And if you want to follow us, you can do it 500 Open Tabs on Instagram and Blue Sky, and you can follow me at Hannah Hillam on anything. And Kaveh
I'm PermaFriends on Instagram and Kaveh Taherian on Blue Sky. In the meantime, thank you guys for listening. Keep the people who run in your hearts. Please do. Lastly, keep it Luddite.
Keep it Luddite.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.